I think that we have consistently overrated what they have, because they do have a lot of capabilities. They do these big parades and all that sort of thing, but that does not equal having an effective military. So I don't think that they want. I don't think they want to get into a full-scale conflict with Israel, but it may not be their choice. And of course, what's happening in this situation is connected to what's happening in Ukraine. I mean, Iran has one friend in the world, and that's Russia, which is why they have been supplying Russia with drones and missiles and other support. Now, that will make it, I think it may be a little bit more difficult for Iran to provide meaningful weapons to Russia if they end up in a conflict. And by the same token, if Ukraine defeats Russia, it would lead to further isolation of Iran. So there's an opportunity for us to think and act strategically by connecting these two theaters. Of course, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. My president did say yesterday that no, the United States would not support Israel striking Iranian nuclear plants. I don't know how much would be required, or if Israel could do that by themselves. Maybe they could. But the Israelis also have not been asking for permission a lot lately, because they worry that information gets leaked out from the U.S. Or that we are tapping the brakes on what we do on Ukraine. So I don't think Israel will ask for permission to do what they're doing. The fact that they might have attacked a Russian airbase in Syria, or at least close to it, that's also an interesting choice of targets. But Syria is the portal through which Iran provides capabilities to Hezbollah. So it makes sense that Israel would try to strike that part of the supply chain as well. I think this could disrupt some of Iran's support to Russia. And if it also puts the Kremlin in a difficult situation in that they support Iran, but they also have managed to keep, Israel has not come out strongly in support of Ukraine. And so now I think that the Kremlin will be thinking through how do they continue to try and straddle the fence on this. I imagine at the end of the day, if we are acting strategically, that it will be to the benefit of Ukraine and Israel if Russia firmly supports Iran in this, and then as Israel continues to damage Iran, that has positive effects, I think, for Ukraine. But we need to think it all the way through. This clearly is what I think we should be wanting, and this is our strategic objective: defeat Russia first, isolate Iran, which also, by the way, degrades their ability to support Hezbollah, Hamas, and Houthis. And this also would send a powerful message to China that the West does have the political will as well as what do you got?
and pain relief 10 minutes faster than regular Panadol tablets.
that it's so sudden. Look, it is too sudden for you, accident. You make believe that the war is on for a couple of hours. Go back to the party. No, I heard that the war was over. I just wanted to check with you to make sure. You can take my word for it. The war is definitely over. You planning on doing Colonel if the war is really over? Well, back to civilian life. You know, Hogan, a man with my experience as a bookkeeper shouldn't have any trouble finding work. All the big companies need bookkeepers. How about you, Schultz? I was in toys. But the government took over the toy factory for the war effort. Now that the war is over, I hope they're going to give back the toy factory and we can make toys again. And what company was it, Schultz? The Schatzi Toy Company. Oh, Hogan, you wouldn't know about that, but the Schatzi Toy Company is the biggest toy company in all of Germany. Schultz, you think your boss will give you your old job back, eh? Why not? I'm the boss. You own the Schatzi Toy Company. Schultz, would you like a cigar? Don't call me Colonel. Call me Wilhelm. Wilhelm. I still remember Dad sneaking me to watch that in Benny Hill. On the lounge chair, of course it is, yes. He actually snuck me in the front screen door. I came in, and then I went down low, because Carlo used to sit in that corner. And then there was the lounge chair like that. Dad was sitting there. And I'd go from the front screen door, go down, and go behind the lounge chair. That was funny. Dad would sneak in when Mum went to church. That's when we lived in Yarloop. And that's when I got this. I got this. Saws from the goat farm. And now they're called a sebaceous cyst, whatever that means.
I knew that you were hanging out in a very filthy place. That was a dirty place.
That was. We lived in a caravan. That's fine. Choose a trading platform that delivers real value.
I stayed in a caravan once. I remember why.
Also, it's that nice smelling food.
I'll put my cloth.
I'll run it past you. I have a phone that I bought off the way.
then I had Donald gave me his phone to teach Danny. Oh no, he gave it to me, but I was going to teach Danny how to use a phone with it. So that's this one. They gave me this one. Which is I'm pretty sure it's an Oppo. Anyway, it's not a groovy doovy one, but it's still a good one. So he gave me that, and then I said, well, if I do sell it, make any money, I'll give some money. But the iPhone, whatever, has got her stuff on it, and you can't take it off unless she takes. Still got her ID in the iPhone, because iPhones are one-person devices unless you take your ID off. Chocolate on the side. Runs down the old person slopes. Yeah, so I have to get her details off there, and that's Renee, who I don't really talk to, and there's been huge amounts of arguments over that phone, because her drug dealer wants that phone, and so I've been threatened for it and all kinds of stuff. Whatever, and I kind of this morning but I don't know if it's God or me just trying to be super good. I kind of thought to give Donald's phone back and give Renee's phone back, and then I'm just thinking right now, how stupid is that? I can still use, see the reason why I wanted Renee's phone, so I could learn how to do the crypto on the iPhone. So I can still use it to do that, can't I? Of course I can. I don't have to have 100% access to her account and things. Because I don't have to run it. But I've got to learn how to open it and which ones are in there. Surrendering to his albino
You should get a job as a bungee machine.
Is that a joke, dear? And very nice, too. How did you get home?
Oh, one of the kids gave me a lift.
A girl called Jennifer. You're a big MG, wasn't it?
How do you know her name?
You said her name over and over and over when you were in the car with her. I couldn't help hearing while I was checking the letterbox for pounds. You said her name so many times, Craig. Is she British or just stupid?
We were just... She's got amnesia.
You and your many bank words.
It's nice comedy. It is.
Jennifer, a nice girl. How can a girl afford a sporty
Don't worry, Mum. She's a fellow med student. Her father's a doctor, a specialist.
well then, somebody obviously gave her father the car as a part payment for a consultation.
Sorry.
Going to be late again.
Where is old Vinegar Face?
Something water, Craig. If you can't say something nice about someone, say it about someone else.
Where is he?
He's taken the Kingswood station early, so he doesn't have to park beside the
Kingswood
county
station.
school. He says that the vibrations in the playground listen the dots.
If he's gone, why are you cooking his breakfast?
Well, he's getting the bus back home for breakfast and then back to the station.
Just so he won't have to park beside the school.
Yes, dear. Mum, but I know what you're going to say, Craig, so I am changing the subject now, out of loyalty. Steve, you're just in time to hear the subject changed. Mum wants used to be a chemist, Craig. Isn't that interesting?
Mum,
Yes, dear.
Dad's smiling.
Don't be silly, dear. It's nowhere near midday.
You've seen a friend between two dads.
You got your favourite parking spot beside the turkey sign.
Dad's alright enough. It was already taken by some browless little dull-grudging floozy in a red MG. Sitting beside that big Catholic school again. And you're still smiling?
Must be wind. Reminds me of when you were a baby, Craig.
It's not wind.
But you went to go to the potty.
Friend Thelma Morgan, sometimes you disgust me.
Right. I gotta go back on it. I gotta get the rest of the story about the MD and the school and the tax and such simple humour. Actually, it's not. She changed it, yeah. It's actually written very intelligent. Where's the little wiglet again? Just gotta make sure he doesn't go to the humans up there. But I have to talk to him and find out what he's done.
So I got the smartphone AirPods as well. The person who can pick it up.
Cool! That'll make you happy. So I'm going to check where he is without everything going away. one, because if I say that, you're going to come chasing me out. Okay, done. I will in a minute. If I give it now, you'll finish it before I have mine. And then I feel like another... But yeah, what?
Concrete Aboriginal. Neville the Conquered Aboriginal. Named after Neville Connor.
Chased him round and round the yard, full mains pressure right up his back. He does not, he hates it, but he loves it. Why was he running away? Oh, I can hear him now, he's coughing. I can hear him shivering so hard he's knocking the nails out of his kennel.
Very happy for you, Chip-Chop.
Only thing that would make me happier, Thelma, would be if that wog son-in-law of yours turned into rust and ate his purple valiant.
Part 2.
You've shown Bruno one of my dogs when you put those shoes.
Kingswood pre-ignition checklist. Oil, water, lights, mud flap length, horn volume, nodding dog's head mobility, etc. and so forth. I flip on the radio and tickle my grandmother. What? Nothing. Look through the windscreen and there's the aerial. Gone. That's a huge hole in the mudguard.
Ted, what did you do?
Fainted.
Oh,
The
no.
doors open and fell in the gutter. When I woke, there was this spotty little Damien in a St. Joseph's uniform grinning down at me.
Bless him.
I sprang to my feet and nearly broke my neck. He was standing on my tie. The aerial in one hand and a letter from a nun in the other. You just hear. Dear driver. That'd be right, you don't drive it to Kingswood, you make love to it. Well, that's why nuns only drive to runs. Dear driver, sorry about your aerial. Sister Bridget's been playing with the volleyball again. Shut up, woman. If you care to call at the school office, I'd be too pleased to arrange compensation. Yours sincerely, Sister Maria.
Isn't that just so nice? Did they pay you in cash or did they pay you in indulgences?
Just got the Kingswood away from there as fast as his little steel cats would carry it, without spinning a wheel.
Oh, that couldn't have been easy, Ted.
So help me, Phil. If the bloke were here today, I'd take him down to that tight school and rub his nose in it.
He's an old man. Mum?
When are you getting a divorce? I want to ring the blokes and get them over from the RSL.
Dad, we're not getting divorced. It was just a stupid little argument. Well, come on, dear. Are you ready?
Well, where are you two off to in my darkest hour?
We're just going to exchange bed issues for a cheaper pair. It's late night shopping.
Well, what about tea?
Oh, it's all right, dear. We'll use Niall's cafeteria. Come on.
Mr. Johnson?
Mines.
Ted Bullpit. No, Bullpit. Yeah, everyone says that. You must remember me. You did some conveyancing when the little woman and me bought our house, remember? What? 1954.
It's so racist, inappropriate, and I realised that one of the old school Aboriginal parliamentarians is Neville Bonner. So he's got a black Aboriginal, concrete Aboriginal that's called Neville. Yes. Okay. One of those garden things. Yeah, the boss is Mushies. I think I told you how he said I should actually be. He told me how much I should be earning, and he said you're losing. I don't know. So it's been my Krypton. Because Krypton tends to catch. So, I should have had a lot of money so far if I knew what I was doing. 'Cause this is real complex, this one. But I'll get there. I like the fact that it's got big
The National 3G network is closing. When it's gone, personal emergency alarms might not work.
That's one thing I want, an iPad or a tablet. I used to have a tablet and I still want it. I'm just happy to buy that because Apple products are extremely good storage.
funny,
Yeah.
funny walk.
Yeah. It's like rap dance done in a weird way. Who's that? Where are they now? One's the country. No, this.
Oh, that.
I'm talking about where are they now?
Oh,
Is that Killed with Country or...
I think so. There's not enough interest.
It is a bit monotonous.
I like the Kill Bill things. They're very violent, but it's, you know, you get past violent and serious to violent and ridiculous. And so I don't mind the kind of nonsense kind of thing. It doesn't affect me at all.
For me, it's all pure, all things good, all things whatever. Meditate, breathe, and do whatever, all that shit goes through my head. But I don't have it as a, it's wrong. I have it as a, it's not something that I need to be putting into my system. But I do want to, before it's time, I do want to set it up that, I wanted to have a look at those cabinets if they're still there, because she was phoning up Lifeline or someone. The black one is something that you could very easily put in the tool shed afterwards, because it's so solid. But yeah. Now I'm starting to get hot. That's because I'm drinking coffee.
From Raffaello comes a delicious frozen creation for pure summer feelings. Spend your extras limit your way, like getting loads of video. I know, keep socks.
Sir, if I may make so bold, a major crisis has arisen in your affairs. Yes, I know, Black Arrow. I've been pondering it all week now, sir. Yes, socks. What happened again? Why is it that no matter how many millions of pairs of socks I buy, I never seem to have any? Sir, with your fingers, there's another even weightier problem. They just disappear. Honestly, you'd think someone was coming in here, stealing the damn things, and then selling them off. Impossible, sir. Only you and I have access to your socks. Yes, you're right, still. For me, socks are like sex. Tongues bit about, I never seem to get in. So if I may return to this very urgent matter, I read fearful news in this morning's paper. Oh no, not another little cat caught up in a tree. No, sir, there is a vote afoot in the new parliament to strike you from the civil list. Oh, yes, but what are they going to do about my socks? Sir, if this bill goes through, you won't have any socks. Well, up to the moment. Or trousers, shirts, waistcoats, or pantaloons. They're going to bankrupt you. They can't do that. Why, the public love me. Only the other day, I was out in the street, and they sang, "We hail Prince George! We hail Prince George!" We hate Prince George. We hate Prince George. I fear so, sir. However, it's not lost. Fortunately, the numbers in the Commons are exactly equal. If we can get one more MP to support us, then you're safe. Hurrah! Any ideas? Well, yes, sir, there is one man who might just be the ace of our sleeve. A rather crusty, loud-mouthed ace named Sir Talbot Buxomley. That's hardly surprising, sir. Sir Talbot has the worst attendance record of any member of Parliament. On the one occasion he did enter the House of Commons, he passed water in the Great Hall, and then passed out in the Speaker's chair. But if we can get him to support us, then we are safe. Well, what's he like? Well, according to Who's Who, his interests include flogging servants, shooting poor people, and the extension of slavery to anyone who has done it. Excellent. Sensible policies for a happier Britain. However, if we're going to get him to support us, he will need some sort of incentive. Anything in mind? Well, you could appoint him a High Court judge. Is he qualified? He's a violent, bigoted, mindless old fool. Sounds a bit over. Well, here it once. Certainly, sir. I'll return it before you can say anti-disestablishmentarianism. Well, I wouldn't be too sure about that. Anti-disestablishment. Anti-distinctly minty Corbett Buxomley, roaringly splendid to have you here. How are you, sir? Absolutely well, Your Highness. I dined hugely off servants before I come into town. You eat your servants? No. I eat off them. Why should I spend good money on tables when I have men standing idle? Why, indeed. Now, I dare say you've heard of Mr. Pitt's intentions. Young scallywag. So you don't approve of his plans for Hollismead? I do not, sir. Damn his eyes. Damn his britches. Damn his duck pond. Well, hurrah for that. I care not a jot that you are the son of a certified sauerkraut-sucking loon. Thank you, sir. It's not me that you dress like a mad parrot and talk like a plate of beans negotiating their way out of a cow's digestive system. There's no skin off my rosy nose that there are bits of lemon peel floating down the Thames that would make better regents than you. The fact is, you are regent, appointed by God, and I shall stick by you forever, though infirmity lay me waste, and ill health curse my every waking moment. Well, good on you, sir. And don't talk to me about infirmity. Why, sir, you are the hardy stock that is the core of Britain's greatness. You have the physique of a demigod, purple of cheek and plump of fetlock, the shapely ankle and the well-filled trouser that tells of a human body in perfect working order. He's dead, sir. Yes, Highness. Well, bad luck. We were rather getting on. Macca's new Mega Meal! A deal too big for this end. What, up to 8 weeks free health insurance? Find out more at ahm.com.au/offer.
Be careful with these ones, I think. Not green, otherwise there'll be a green anal. This morning, he stood out there when it was still dark. I just turned the lights off. I just turned the lights off because the sun was starting to think about coming up. And I thought I'll turn it off because I could sit here and still do it. I was doing my crypto still. And then he strolled there, stood there, looked around, went back, sat down. And then I went to get something, whatever it was, maybe the dog or something, I can't remember. And then he had a chat and take a seat. When he sat down and then he had some smoke over there and he said, have some? I said, no. I said, anything off there for you? He goes, no, he's still got heaps more. And I said, no, fine, thank you. And he went out and took some more, came back. I said, oh, it's just a machine. He goes, anyway, he came back and he said, yeah, some as much as you want. So I had 2 little ones and then he said, I have some. I said, no, I'm fine. And he apparently has a couple in the morning. So he's just feeling calm and whatever, and then continues with his day. He said he's so used to getting up early, he can't help it now. I've had the 4:45, was just an automatic clock in my system when I wake up. I have a 3 o'clock thing, I don't know why. 3 o'clock I seem to wake up every night, even if I'm sleeping. But yeah, I used to have the 4:45, the body wants to wake up, because it's so used to doing it over years and years and years and years and years. So, yeah, I totally understand. I don't know how long ago he gave up jockeying, a few years ago. But yeah, he does, 58, and yeah, it's kind of stuck in me from whatever job put it in me. One of the jobs.
This guy is a weirdo, but he does.
Yes, so, this is all true. And, so, yes, we had empires in Europe, we had empires. Everyone had France and Spain and Britain and Turkey, the Ottoman Empire, full of furniture for some reason. mess like a flan in a cupboard. And the German Empire, very organised, always build an empire, Einstein build an empire, very Prussian, and then they'd celebrate with the World War and lose the whole fucking empire by then. In the 30s, Hitler, Czechoslovakia, Poland, France, Second World War, Russian front, not a good idea. Hitler never played Risk when he was a kid. Because, you know, playing Risk, you could never hold on to Asia. That Asian, Eastern European area, you could never hold it, could you? 7 extra men at the beginning of every go, but you couldn't fucking hold it. Australasia, that was the one, Australasia. All the purples. Get everyone in Papua New Guinea and just build up and build up. And Hitler ended up in a ditch covered in petrol on fire. So, that's fun. I mean, that's funny. Because he was a mass murdering fuckhead.
So much like a bloke.
Double trouble.
Look at one. Yeah, I know, that looks so much like.
Where's your honeymoon be? Well, in a ditch, covered in petrol on fire.
Yeah.
Already arranged it upstairs. Oh, how romantic, Adolf. Yes, I know. Fun. What a bastard. And he was a vegetarian and a painter, so he must have been going, I can't get the fucking trees down. I will kill everyone in the world. He was a mass murdering fuckhead, as many historians have said. And, but there are other mass murderers got away with it. Stalin killed many millions, died in his bed. Well done there. Pol Pot killed 1.7 million Cambodians, died under house arrest, age 72. Well done indeed. And the reason we let them get away with it is because they killed their own people. And we're sort of fine with that. Now help yourself, you know. We've been trying to kill you for ages, so you kill your own people. Seems to be. Hitler killed people next door. Wow. Stupid man. After a couple of years, we won't stand for that, will we?
Yeah.
Pol Pot killed 1.7 million people. We can't even deal with that. I think, you know, we think if somebody kills someone, that's murder, you go to prison. If you kill 10 people, you go to Texas, they hit you with a brick, that's what they do. 20 people, you go to a hospital, they look through a small window at you forever. And over that, we can't deal with it, you know? Somebody's killed 100,000 people. We're almost going, well done, well done. You killed 100,000 people? You must get up very early in the morning. I can't even get down the gym. Your diary must look odd. Get up in the morning, death, lunch. Death. Afternoon tea, death. Quick shower. You know, so I suppose we're glad that Pol Pot's under house arrest. You know, 1.7 million people, at least we know where he is. Under house arrest. Just don't go in that fucking house, you know? I know a lot of people who'd love to be under house arrest. They bring you your food, you just stay here. All right. Have you got any videos? You know, you just sit there. So, and Pol Pot was a history teacher, and Hitler was a vegetarian painter. So, mass murders come from the areas you least expected. I don't know how the flip comes over, but it happened. So, yeah. So there was a lot of that, and we built up empires. We stole countries. That's how you build an empire. We stole countries with the cunning use of flags. Sail around the world and stick a flag in. I claim India for Britain. There you go. You can't claim us. We live here. 500 million of us. Do you have a flag?
It's so nice.
We don't need a bloody flag. It's our country, you bastard. No flag, no country. You can't have one. That's the rules that I've just made up. And I'm backing it up with this gun. I just don't think that's happening. So, but you can't do that in Church of England. You can't say, you must have tea and cake with a vicar or you die. You can't have extreme points of view. You know, the Spanish Inquisition wouldn't have worked with Church of England. Talk, will you talk? But it hurts. Well, loosen it up a bit, buddy. That's what it would be. Tea and cake or death. Tea and cake or death. Tea and cake or death. Students with their tea and cake or death. Tea and cake or death. Little red cookbook. Little red cookbook. You know, because cake or death, that's a pretty easy question. Anyone can answer that. Cake or death? Cake, please. Very well. Give him cake. Oh, thanks very much. Very nice. You, cake or death? Cake for me too, please. Very well. Give him cake too. We're gonna run out of cake at this rate. Cake or death? Death, please. No, cake, sorry. You said death first? Death first. No, I meant cake. Oh, all right. You're at the Church of England. Cake or death? Cake, please. Well, what kind of cake? We only had 3 beds and we didn't expect such a rush. So what do you want? So my choice is or death? Well, I'll have the chicken then, please. Taste of human, sir. Do you like a white wine? Very good. Thank you for flying Church of England, cake or death? I asked for the vegetarian. I am the vegetarian. Yes, there we go, Mr. Hitler. There we go. Second the wine, thank you very much. You Nazi shithead.
He comes up with jokes that no one does.
And he's got like verbal diarrhea, but everything is always connected. Like I saw one, the funniest one ever. He was talking about, the horses that dance.
Yeah.
And he starts the whole set with horses that dance. And they become war horses and all this sort of thing. And then he goes through this whole litany of other stories. And then he comes back to the horses dancing on the battlefield. And it's like he's told one story, but he's told 50 stories.
Off story.
Well, not related even.
No, but off the platform of one. Started with one and just rolled,
It's like he
rolling.
just filled the guts of the story with all sorts of other stuff. But it's just, to me, it's just amazing in the sense that his mind he must have one of these diseases, mental illnesses, because his mind does not slow down ever.
I do like his humour.
Yeah.
Finally, I just want to talk about the future. The future? Where will the future be? Science fiction writers, they write it down in books, and it becomes films, and then it all comes to pass. Those doors in Star Trek, we've got them now. That's about it. But that's happened. And the Empire Strikes Back, the 5th of the 4 Star Wars films. He is fucking with us numerically, isn't he? Children count up to 10. 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 10. No, it goes 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. No, it goes 4, 5, 6, 1. 2 and 3 have not been named. 2 and 3 have not been made, but what should they be? What should they be? We do not know. All we know is there will be a big floppy character that goes, Pony! I'll punch up the bracket. That's a punishment, right? The bracket. This is the bracket. I did that, my dad used to say it to me. You need a good punch on the bracket. No, he didn't say it. He just said, I'll smash you through that wall. So, what's it? Yes. So, in Star Wars, I mean, there's the Death Star. Death Star's a great, almost like a New York name. The Death Star. It gets to the point. What's that star? It's the Death Star. What does it do? It does death. It does death, buddy. Get out of my way. You're your centiliters and your milliliters. Fucking combine harvesters. Sporadic love, that was good. It's like I've gone in and removed some of your entrails. Ish. between battles where Darth Vader could just chill and go down. I will have the penne alla Arabiata. You need a tray. Do you know who I am? You know who I am? This is not a game of who the fuck are you? For I am Vader. Darth Vader. Lord Vader. I can kill you with a single thought. But you still need a tray. I will not need a tray. Do not need a tray to kill you. I can kill you without a tray, with the power of the Force, which is strong within me. Even though I could kill you with a tray if I so wished. For I would hack at your neck with the thin bit until the blood flowed across the canteen floor. Now the food is hot. You'll need a tray to put the food on. Oh, I see the food is hot. I'm sorry. I did not realize. Yes, I thought you were challenging me to the fight to the death. Fight to the death? This is a canteen. I work here. Yes, but I am Vader. I am Lord Vader. Everyone challenges me to a fight to the death. Lord Vader, Darth Vader. I'm Darth Vader. Sir Lord Vader. Sir Lord Darth Vader. Lord Vader Team. Sir Lord Baron von Vaderham. The Death Star. I run the Death Star. What's the Death Star? This is the Death Star. You're in the Death Star. I run this star. This is the star. This is a fucking star. I run it. I'm your boss. You're Mr. Stevens. Who is Mr. Stevens? He's head of catering. I'm not head of catering. I am Vader. I can kill catering with a sword. What? I can kill you all. I can kill me with a sword. Just somehow get a tray. With the power of the Death Star, do we not have a tray that is fucking dry? No. I was here first. You have to form a queue if you want to. Can I have penny alla Arabiata? That'd be very nice. No. Do you know who I am? That's Jeff Vader, eh? I'm not Jeff Vader. I'm Darth Vader. What? Jeff Vader runs the Death Star? No, I run the Death Star. You Jeff Vader? No, I'm Darth Vader. Are you his brother? Could you get his autograph? I can't get it. No, I'm Jeff. All right, I'm Jeff Vader. I'm Jeff Vader. Where's your autograph? No, fuck off. I'll kill you with a tray. Give me penny alla Arabiata or you shall die. And you, and everyone in this canteen. Death by tray it shall be. Penny, you don't put... Let's just push him up the penny cubes and then it'll be weird. Just... Oh, alright. That's amazing. That was cut out.
Like when he did the horses one, he's going... and then he's going through the building sideways.
Some people, okay, people sit around here and tell a joke and everyone's ha, and I still go, those people wouldn't get his jokes. And when he's talking, you can't foresee what he's going to say next, which is good. Because a lot of times you can kind of predict what they're going to say next. They lie or whatever.
And of course he's not religious. Rich people anti-religious.
God, these are good. Garlic. Southern crackers.
This is actually his first post. It's this Indian lady that tells news about the world. She's an Indian channel.
I don't mind watching this stuff, like all this stuff, because it's different from what I do. And it's giving me a brain break. And it's actually good for me, because I'm trying to find me. Yeah, actually that's good, because you're looking at stuff. I might like this and go,
It was September 1960. The US ambassador in Israel was on an official tour. He visited a fertilizer plant in Sudan, just off the Dead Sea coast. Tour done, it was time to return. For the journey back to Tel Aviv, the Israeli Air Force gave him a helicopter. They were flying over the Negev desert. That's when the ambassador spotted an industrial facility. It was located Ben-Gurion hit it off. In 1948, he was appointed head of the IDF Scientific Division. In 1951, he became a scientific advisor to the Defense Ministry, and in 1952, he was given charge of the newly formed IAEC, the Israel Atomic Energy Commission. You could say he was Israel's Oppenheimer, or their Homi Baba, depending on where you live. So Israel now had two things: political will from Ben-Gurion and science knowledge from Bergman. What they needed was an enforcer now, a military man who would do the dirty work. Enter Shimon Peres. Again, it's an interesting career path. Peres was not your typical military man. He wasn't even part of the Israeli armed forces. Yet in the 1950s and 60s, he wielded immense power. Perhaps more than the generals. So these three figures were key to the nuclear program. It's hard to say when they decided to build the bomb. After all, Israel has not admitted to any of this. But most historians point to 1955. That's when Ben-Gurion returned to power. Once the decision was made, it was on to the logistics. Israel would need a reactor. But who would give it to them? Peres found a willing partner in France. This was in late 1957, just 1 year after the Suez Crisis. Israel, France, and Britain had already conspired to attack Egypt. That plan blew up in their face. But it did cement ties between Israel and France. So in 1957, Paris signed on. They gave Israel a plutonium reactor. Hundreds of French workers came to Dimona. They had two jobs: one, to build the reactor, and two, to build a reprocessing plant. And this plant was very important. It would recycle nuclear fuel. The unusable waste part would be removed. Only the usable plutonium would remain. You could easily use it to make nuclear weapons. At one point, more than 2,500 French workers lived in Dimona. It was all top secret. You couldn't even write back home. You had to write letters to a fake PO box in Latin America. Despite all of this, the Americans did find out. In 1960, they got photographic evidence. Israel was building a reactor in the Negev desert. So Eisenhower wanted answers. He was the US president. Ben-Gurion said it was all peaceful. He also made a statement in the Israeli Knesset. Till date, it's the only mention of Dimona in Israel's parliament. And what did the Prime Minister say? Same thing he told the Americans. Dimona is meant for peaceful purposes. Israel needed electricity. Nuclear power was the only way. Just one problem though. The Americans were not convinced. Remember the helicopter ride in 1960? Chances are the ambassador's question was not out of curiosity. He likely knew about the reactor. All he wanted was an official Israeli reaction. Eisenhower could not do much about it. He left office in 1961. John F. Kennedy took over from him. Kennedy tried to play hardball. He made Israel agree to regular inspections by the United States. American teams visited in 1961, 1962, and 1964, and each time they gave
That lady that Steven Spielberg,
the scenes. Israel was
bit like his movie had his Bergman shot in it, I reckon.
one agency very cute in that. It's
Anyway,
called
check it out.
the Science Liaison Bureau. In 1965, Shimon Peres recruited a star spy for them, Arnon Milchan, a Hollywood producer. You may not know him, but I'm sure you know his movies. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, LA Confidential, 12 Years a Slave. All of it was made by Milchan. So how did he end up spying? Well, Milchan is an Israeli. He met Peres at a nightclub in Tel Aviv. Later in his life, he explained why he chose to be a spy, and this is what he said. Do you know what it's like to be a 20-something-year-old kid and his country lets him be James Bond? That was exciting. So Milchan was on board and he used his connections well. He photographed blueprints that helped Israel's program, even got a US nuclear scientist to join his company board. And guess how? By offering him a meeting with actor Richard Dreyfuss. So Israel was on a roll. They got the blueprints, they got the reactor, but now they needed heavy water. Another key part of the nuclear program. This time, Norway obliged. They gave water to the UK for their nuclear program. Not all of it had been used up, so Israel bought the extra. since these events, since Israel is said to have developed nuclear weapons, but to this day it's unofficial. Israel maintains a policy called nuclear ambiguity. They won't confirm they have nuclear weapons. They won't deny it either. How then do we know all of this? Thanks to declassified documents from the US government. Also interviews and statements given by the people involved. And it was all started by this man, Mordechai Vanunu. He's a former Israeli technician. He worked in Dimona from 1977 to 1985. Before he quit his job, he photographed the whole place, the plutonium parts, the thermonuclear model, even the secret work on tritium. He leaked all of this to British media in 1986. That's when the world realized that Israel has nuclear weapons. Until then, it was all a secret. After 1986, it became open. Mordechai was later abducted by the Mossad in Rome. He was convicted and imprisoned for 18 years, 10 of which he spent in solitary confinement. It tells you how guarded Israel is. But what's the status today? And occasionally, Israeli politicians do let it slip. Even Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in 2020, he called Israel a nuclear power.
המשמעות של הפרק הזה זה שאנחנו הופכים את ישראל למעצמה אנרגטית. בשבוע שעבר התחלנו כבר לייצר גז ממאגר לוויתן לירדן.
No change in policy though. Israel still won't confirm or deny. Reports say they have around 90 nuclear warheads. Now to give you some context, India has around 164, Britain has 220, and the Americans and Russians have some 5,000 plus. But has this policy worked for them, for the Israelis? It's honestly hard to say. The last major Arab-Israel war was in 1973, the Yom Kippur War. That's when Arab states ganged up on Israel. But after the whistle was blown in 1986, it has not happened again. Yes, there have been wars with the Hezbollah, also with Palestinian groups, but no pan-Arab attempt to wage war on Israel. Does that mean nuclear deterrence has worked? Well, you know Israel's response. What nuclear deterrence?
This is a good information.
And she's very educated, very classy. And she said his name so clearly. An Indian would normally turn it Indian. Very good. Good, I'm happy. So good. I just feel like I'm getting somewhere in life. I'm happy. I feel like maybe my schooling's finishing in another year. That'd be nice. I do feel like I've been through school. I have been. I don't feel like I know I have been because I keep getting pulled. And I had to, I had to get up all my jewelry, remember, and my makeup, everything I had to just strip clean, which I did that in 94. And that's when I started heading, about 95, I was heading overseas to Fiji and India and that to speak with women in the churches. Got invited by all the pastors at Pastors Leaders Conference. And that was an honour, and I was so different because everything was just God-based. And I got taken through everything. I actually only wore white and cream and nothing second-hand. Everything was new and very basic, minimalistic actually, which was really odd. And no makeup, no jewellery, and I was just in heavenly places with God. And then I met the husband in the middle of all that.
Well, one thing I used to wonder about, like, get the man. It lasted 3 years, and he was sort of operating in that very powerful Holy Spirit realm when he was doing ministry.
Yes.
I wonder, like, I'm not 100% there, I don't think, ever, but not that level, but I could always be doing a little bit better. And but I wonder if you get to that level where you are sort of like so close to the power of God, whether that will actually shorten your life. You understand what I mean? Like, we're not built for certain things.
Yeah.
We're not built to know everything. We're not built to handle the whole power of God.
Yeah.
Like, people say things like, oh, you have your heart, God. If God gave people his heart for the lost, it would destroy them. Or experience, like I had the little experience of God's love. There's 2 or 3 different things that I had experience with. And just the tiny experience of how God feels love. Oh, and death. People going to hell. I did not have, as a human, the capacity to just handle it. Neither of those 2.
Yeah.
And, people ask for that all the time. What, do you want to die? You know? You want to die? You want to really feel what God feels? Like, your worst experience times a million, you know? It's like charismatic churches don't understand the limits. It's like that thing about there being 1,000 people that could minister with goods around you and only one is your job.
Yeah.
That's your capacity.
That's something which I should write on a
because according to God, that whether it's 10 people out of, like, that's one need in one place, it might be 10 people, it might be a whole church.
Yeah.
But it's one responsibility you have got.
Yes.
That is my capacity.
Yes.
God would not underutilize me, but he would give me the wisdom to know what without saying this is all you're capable of, but that is my capacity being utilised fully.
Yeah.
And there's only one out of 1,000 needs around me, or 100 needs, or 20 needs, or whatever. So, some people I think go way off the rails with feeling the responsibility for everything that's going on around the world.
Yes.
And in the people around them, even families and all that kind of thing. It's like, I don't worry about my kids. I say a prayer a couple, 2, 3 times a year, 4 times a year, that they would come to a place without being hurt, or not hurt too much, because there's such a thing as just enough hurt to drive people, turn their face to God. But I just pray there will come a time when they are in a place where they meet the reality of God, because I'd rather God preserve their life until that happens than they get to church and waste the rest of their life being religious.
Yes.
So, Naomi is more, she went to university, so she's a bit more messed up with, the way she thinks and that, I think. But Jojo, like Christine, goes to church with Freya. Yeah, I mean, she's a Catholic, but she loves God.
She does, and from that prayer, that was just an open book on her closeness and her personal relationship with God.
Yeah.
And that's all that matters, is that they've got a personal relationship. They actually know who they're serving. Yes.
And I mean, being a Catholic, you have your limits of what is part of your Christian faith, I guess. But
Yeah.
a lot of people in charismatic churches are nowhere near there,
Yeah.
you know.
There's a lot of Catholic churches that are actually modern.
Well, they have charismatic Catholics,
Yeah.
but that, from my experience, didn't mean too much. One of the most powerful ministers was an Anglican church minister who was fully aware of like he would, I think, if I remember right, he came to Martin, that's group in Geraldton, and spoke to us there. And so he's fully aware of the Masons links and all that kind of thing, and the immorality and ungodliness and the occultic stuff in the Anglican church.
It was actually in Geraldton. That's when I lived in Geraldton and I was going to the AOG. That's when I studied that book on all the cults. And then not long after that, I met that Grand Master, Freemason Grand Master. He actually told me stuff that they get killed for.
Yeah.
And then I had 96, I had the secretary of the church downstairs, and I had Success Super Savers, that newspaper that went everywhere, not even case of killed. Yeah, because downstairs is my secretary, and her father was a Freemason Grandmaster. And what little she knew was very little, but yeah, he'd pack pyjamas and stuff. As a kid, you'd sneak and have a look. And then I actually went in one in Gunning. I shit myself, eh? I went
It would
in.
be a very, very polluted atmosphere.
I went in, and because it's kind of 50-cent shape, whatever the hexagon or hexagon in the centre, and then it had the podiums, but it had the freaking tools on the podiums, scalpels and things. Looked like surgery identical. But chair, podium next to it, like hexagon almost, I don't know, shaped. Podium, chair, podium, in this weirdly lit. I walked in because they sold it, someone made it into a house. Oh. But
I don't think I'd want to buy a Masonic
the one in
Temple.
Killarney was for sale. Elbow Valley.
Yeah.
Or is there Elbow Valley, or there's one with 3 letters starting with E? Or it's Elbow Valley. Elbow Valley. Yeah, that, no, Killarney. Anyway, there's one, it's a old wood one that's up on a hillside. It's really nice when you drive along, it's really boring. The road you're going to Killarney, and it's white, and it's up the side of the road, you know, how the stores and the pubs downwards. And then the hillside goes up a little bit on that side of just the main road. Next time you drive along, there's a white, it's a Masonic Lodge. But it's not a stone one, which is odd. But the one in Gunning,
You'd think the Mason's Lodge would be stone.
stone, yes, because that's, yeah, it all started as honestly, getting employed through the Freemasons.
Yeah. This, I had a trailer that I bought from the church in Canberra, and then I needed to sell it.
Yeah,
And so I was advertising, and this guy called up about it, and he told me, yeah, we're going to use it for transporting Masonic literature around to different places. I said, oh, you're a Mason. And he started, because they're really into evangelizing and telling about it.
yeah,
Like my good friend in Canberra, Peter Taylor, he's a Mason, and he uses the, like connection thing to his advantage. And he's very pushy because the rules are the rules. So if you want something through the council or something like that, he will insist.
yes,
And he will get his way. But this guy that was buying the trailer, he started talking about it. I said, and I think I probably just said a little bit about maybe the demonic or something like that. And I said, what level are you? And he was like, he was nowhere near that not knowledgeable level. And I said, at your level, you don't actually know anything. You don't know what goes on in level 21 or whatever it is plus. it's a very sticky. I don't remember the words, but I like a little good little comment. And then they bought the trailer.
Yeah.
But see, to me, that's the other thing. If you get the right word in at the right time, you actually transported that person just a little bit closer to the truth, or you've opened the door to truth.
Yes.
Means you transport a little bit closer to the truth.
Yeah.
Like the Bible talks about some people, you know, put down the seeds and some people collect the harvest. So if you're a seeder,
Yes.
which you end up being often because people have so much stuff coming at them that it's very hard for them to just go, oh wow, this is amazing, I want to do this now. Say, well, what about is that everything else that I've heard? And yeah,
The beautiful thing is that people have really stuffed up religion. And religion is something I'd hate to be trying to convert someone. Because I don't convert, like I say, you can't.
no, you can't.
You can't say to someone, hey, I'm going out with this gorgeous guy, and this is his personality and whatever. You should love him as much as I do. I don't even know you. Hello, Mr. Holden.
It's the neighbour.
Hello,
You
Mr.
got time, Chaz. I've been looking for
What?
a haircut.
$10.
Yeah.
Which one, the remote one? Or the big one?
Yeah, the big one.
You don't remember the little button next to the hole?
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to find it.
Okay, oh, come on, push the button.
Fix it.
I said, I'm done with it. Up with you. Come in. Okay.
Who knows where it is?
All right.
Does it have temperature level?
Yeah. first came out, I thought they were awful, never going to catch on. This is a flowchart from the time that really resonated with me. The problem, as I saw it, was that QR codes are ugly, and they mean nothing to people. I would rather just see a website or a word that I could Google. QR codes are a language for machines, and I am a human. But I was wrong. QR codes obviously turned out to be so useful that they are now ubiquitous, used in everything from tickets to restaurant menus and advertising. In some countries, they're the most common way to exchange money. And the story of QR codes is a very human one. The origin of these checkerboard patterns actually dates back to our first efforts at digitizing information. In 1825, there was a renowned painter who lived in New Haven, Connecticut, with his wife and 2 kids. His big break came one day when he was invited to paint a portrait of the Marquis de Lafayette, a hero of the American Revolution. Even though his wife was expecting their 3rd child any day, the opportunity was too good to pass up, and he hastily set off for Washington, D.C., where Lafayette was waiting. There, the painter wrote to his wife describing his first meeting with Lafayette, signing off with the words, "We'll write again soon. Love to all the children. In the greatest haste, but with the same ardent affection as ever. My loving husband." After a few days with no reply, a courier delivered a letter which said his wife was ill after childbirth. Worried, the painter rushed home. He traveled by horse and wagon day and night, managing to arrive back in New Haven in several days. But it was far too late. His wife had died. Not only that, he had missed the funeral. Her body was already buried in the ground. The painter's name was Samuel Finley Breeze Morse. From that day forward, Morse set out to find a faster way to communicate over long distances. He got a job at New York University where he attended lectures on electricity, a rapidly developing field at the time. In 1836, along with Joseph Henry and Alfred Vail, he devised a machine that could send electrical pulses along a wire. This was not the first electric telegraph, but it was the simplest. In the UK, another team had set up a series of circuits to move 5 magnetic needles to point at letters and numbers. Morse's system required only a single circuit, but the simplicity of the apparatus demanded a cleverer method of encoding information. On the circuit, you could send short or long pulses. Morse turned these into dots and dashes. The most common letters could be sent with a single key press, a dot for an E and a dash for a T. The other letters were arranged by frequency and assigned increasingly complex codes. These symbols were meant to be printed at the receiver on a paper strip, but operators soon realized they could recognize the letters just by the sound. This sped up the rate at which information could be sent and received, so Morse code became an international standard for rapid messaging. Widely used in the military, maritime communications, and aviation. The universally recognized distress call, SOS, what does it stand for? Nothing. It just happens to be easy to send and recognize in Morse code. Morse code revolutionized communication, but in the next century, it would transform a totally different industry. In the late 1940s, Bernard Silver was an engineering student at Drexel University in Pennsylvania. One day, he overheard the president
Se on pelännyt tulla kylään, kun se oli velkaa mulle, kun mä annoin sinulle. Sen piti antaa takaisin, niin mä sanoin, että en mä välitä. I'll feed him back to him when he pops them all. So I'll feed him back to him when he needs painkillers.
This guy, Rob Paxton.
Oh, I'll leave these, but I'm putting it out. So I'll put the container there, it's just that there's so much shit on the table.
Wrong, dude. What about wrong? Right. What is that? Rob Braxton, this Chinese guy here. This is one last one I... This is really interesting.
I was talking about the dangers of Google device tracking in the last video, and someone asked, how do I get the Google phone? Then someone posted an answer, get an iPhone. Well,
I started watching it, she said it, but I didn't finish it.
iPhones are the worst. I made a promise to myself never to get an iPhone again, even though I had an iPhone 1 to iPhone 10 before. I was one of those people who fell in line at the Apple Store during an iPhone release, so it took a lot to switch me. I'm going to give you the conclusion. The iPhone is now the most dangerous surveillance device ever made. Keep me the zuck away from this. And Apple's gaslighting you with promises that most of you don't understand and just accept without question. This phone will get to know you in ways never achieved before, all from this phone's new AI features and sensors. There are layers and layers of really advanced surveillance capabilities here, and there are quiet clues as to what's happening. But you will ignore it because the fanboys think it's great. Yeah, apparently it has to know you well so it can take better pictures. All this AI is justified by the camera use. If you want to know if there's more to this than just better photos, then stay right there.
Employee finds that can't be tracked from me.
I've had recent conversations with two cybersecurity experts who are frequently in China and have deep contacts in China. And let me tell you something interesting. Apparently in China, iPhones are okay. In fact, there are Apple stores everywhere. Now in contrast, Google is banned in China. No Google products are available. Let's put this in context. My friend also said this. In China, if the government comes knocking at your door, you cannot refuse. Otherwise, you go to jail. Someone had a license plate with the number 641989 in Hong Kong, and that person was arrested. That is the date of the Tiananmen Square protest and massacre in Beijing. Another person is a lawyer who agreed to represent some of the Tiananmen Square survivors. Result? Arrested. For any company to be allowed in China, especially a surveillance device like a phone, then that company must adhere to China's surveillance requirements. If China wants something from someone's iPhone to see who's thinking what, then there can be no argument from Apple. No refusing, or they are out of China. If any one of you is a China expert and will refute this, by all means, leave it in the comments, and I will discuss it with my sources. How is it possible for Apple to rub shoulders with China when it makes many promises about privacy? Such an inconsistency, right? Think clearly. Apple cares about its 3.37 trillion valuation. That's bigger than most countries. That's in line with the GDP of the entire UK. Apple can't afford to lose China. Apple makes several promises with its new phone. These will sound good, but listen closely. Here are a few that I'm sure you've heard. Number 1, AI opening possibilities. Number 2, privacy in iPhone. Number 3, Apple cannot see your data. I know what many of you are thinking. This company really cares about me, and these features are good for me. How could such a big company like Apple be dishonest to me? Not possible. What I'm going to show you are the pieces that justify these Apple claims, and then we'll analyze if this is truly the most successful gaslighting you've ever seen, powered by incredibly successful marketing and lots of money.
This is interesting, this one.
The foundation of the iPhone story are in the sensors of the device. Let's start first by just reviewing the various sensors on it. This device can sense everything about you. Number 1, iPhones can detect a severe car crash. This is quite true. I know someone personally in a car crash, and the iPhone reported the crash to emergency services. However, now you should be thinking about the sensors constantly in action, sensing various events. Are car crashes the only events it can record and sense? Number 2, iPhones have an eye tracking feature. This is an advertised feature on iPhone 16. Phones can figure out your interest in content based on your eye movements. It can see which part of the screen your eyes are focused on. Wait, doesn't it need to have the camera on to detect this? Number 3, iPhones have vocal shortcuts. The new OS constantly listens to you now without even a voice is a trigger. Did you have to press a button before? Number 4, iPhone mirroring. This is a brand new feature added to iPhones. iPhone mirroring, and that's the OS sharing what you're seeing on the screen with your other devices like a Mac. Benign feature? Built-in Trojan? Since the tech is there to view remotely, could others view it? 5. Find my phone with power off. This was introduced a couple of years ago now. Your phone will not stop tracking your location, even when your power's off. Some of you think you can control this. You can't. It's 24/7 location tracking permanently. Have you ever wondered why it knows how far you are to your next destination? Number 6, IR tracking. The iPhone is constantly detecting your presence. How? The infrared sensor is sending out a scan of its environment every few seconds to see where you are. You think this is just for Face ID during login? Then why is it doing this every few seconds? Number 7, iPhones can communicate without internet. This is something very disturbing that I've laid out in prior videos. Bluetooth Low Energy, BLE, in the Apple Mesh Network allows the phones to communicate even without an internet connection. So even if you took out a SIM card and disconnected from Wi-Fi or even put it in airplane mode, it will not stop it from communicating with Apple. It will just switch to the Apple Mesh Network with BLE. The iPhone 16 will also use satellite communications. Number 8, media scanning. Something disturbing I've discussed in many videos is the early AI capability called media scanning. I'm going to get into this a little later, but your device is scanning your photos to see what is in them. Supposedly, this is the way to search and organize your photos. Just so you understand, AI knows what's in your photos. Number 9, legacy sensors. Now, there are old-fashioned sensors already built into every phone that are still being used. These are things like the GPS, Wi-Fi triangulation, motion sensors, gyro, Bluetooth MAC address listeners, and stuff I've discussed multiple times in prior videos. And of course, there's now the very sophisticated camera that's fully controlled by the OS, not by you. There has never been a device ever made with this many ways of sensing its environment. It can listen to you, see who's around you, even find other people with iPhones near you, feel you. Your screen can even be watched remotely. Apple calls the AI on the iPhone the Apple Intelligence. I've done several AI videos explaining the technologies involved in this new trend of including AI models in your local devices. This is the new feature in the iPhone 16. The capabilities of the iPhone 16 has been enhanced, so there's an NPU capability, neural processing unit, powerful enough to run a local AI. So the way Apple Intelligence is set up, according to Apple explanations, Apple Intelligence will be a multi-layered AI environment. The phone itself will have a local AI capable of doing many different AI tasks. But when the required operation is too complex, then the AI will forward the request to one of Apple's AI servers. These AI servers are built with a lighter weight version of OpenAI. Then again,
So your phone is connected to OpenAI if you've never even chosen to explore that.
Yes. What good is it?
I'm looking interested in the Musk phone.
Yeah, well, I want to, when I get the block, I want to go offline. So satellite would be awesome next year. So looking into it and every possible cheap, like, that's the best way and pricing wise, to get into it as a whole property would be a good idea. Very good.
servers encounter something beyond their capability, then the Apple AI servers will connect directly to the OpenAI service itself for the full OpenAI model. In other words, there's a built-in communication structure between your iPhone and the Apple Intelligence AI infrastructure. Now, there were already some AI processes running in the past.
Puppy, puppy,
Puppy. Puppy.
bring it here. Bring it here. Can you bring it here? Yeah. Here.
Energy drinks in the fridge. You want a warm one?
No, it doesn't matter.
Of the iPhone, there was a constantly running program that's equivalent to the one running on the Mac called Media Analysis D. Now, what is that? The Media Analysis D program was part of the modules initially created by Apple with the supposed goal of catching people with CSAM content on their phone, something they claim they have put on hold. Let's first talk about the capabilities of this module. Media Analysis D, as the name suggests, was made to examine your media content on your phone and analyze it to see what it contained. Now, I actually wrote some programs to demonstrate how AI can do this, and I will link that video in the description so you can understand the mechanics. This is something that both Apple and Microsoft are now doing. The Microsoft version is called Windows Recall. The main point to understand is that the image processing AI of the old Apple Bionic chips already had the capability with small AI models to understand what's in your photos. They claimed at the time that they could identify illegal CSAM material, which is powerful enough. But more advanced AI can really understand the context of photos in more ways than you can imagine, especially with a full-featured AI. It would be like having a human examine any photos and look for things that could be considered subversive. A fully thinking independent local AI is now on your phone. It's much more powerful than just the sub-processes like image processing that your previous iPhone models were able to do. This new AI is completely now integrated with all the capabilities of the old media scanning, which I'm sure is still there, together with the understanding of all the other sensors that the phone has been given with iPhone 16. This is now a fully sensory capable robot with previously unheard of awareness. It has hearing capabilities, environmental sensing capabilities, positional capabilities, touch, and the only thing missing is its capability to ambulate. Now, I have to tell you that just even stopping here, without even knowing what this capability will be used for, other than supposedly improving your photos, I'm already quite afraid of even being close to a device like this.
Makes sense, right?
Is there a ghost in this machine that's watching you? OMG! If you're a conformist and you like everything your government is doing, then you will never have an opposing view, and you will never have an opposing view with your government, then I guess you will not complain. Usually, though, 50% of the population have something to disagree with. In China, 0% can disagree, at least in the open. In other places like supposedly free countries like the UK, Australia, Canada, speaking about something and having someone know you speak it will also get arrested. Even in the US with free speech laws, you may think you have free speech, but the FBI can always put you in their terror watch list of violent extremists, which apparently they've repeatedly done. Privacy allows me freedom of thought. I can agree. I can disagree. I can agree at times and disagree at times. I may strongly agree and strongly disagree at some moments. But do I want a device to record this? Do I want a device to interpret this? Then at that point, it is beyond me. It is now in the hands of a machine. And the machine controls my life at that point. And the question that you have to ask yourself is this. Who controls the machine? Who controls the iPhone with all this knowledge of you? You think it is you. It is not. So far, there's nothing I've said here that Apple can disagree with, nor any of you, because these are publicized features and are openly verified. Now let's examine the Apple promises that supposedly makes you ignore these extremely powerful surveillance capabilities that are now powered by AI. According to Apple, Apple cannot see your data. Therefore, privacy is iPhone. Let's get this straight. This device with increasingly large amounts of storage provided encourages you to put all your life data into the phone. Dangerously complete information, I might add. But you're supposed to feel safe because, hey, Apple cannot see your data. And I will affirm the fact that, based on statements made, they are not exactly lying to you. With this infrastructure, in theory, they are not directly looking at your data. But the AI will know you very well. Is that bad?
This one.
Let me again refresh your memory with information I've shared in older videos. Never look at current events in isolation. It is almost always tied to some history. It goes back to 2015 when the FBI wanted to unlock the iPhone of San Bernardino, California shooter Syed Farook. Apple vehemently protested the legal request of the government to unlock the phone. Understandably, if Apple succumbed to that request, I bet Apple's future would have changed, and it would now be the smallest manufacturer of phones. But they stuck to their guns with the added benefit of the PR that they were resisting government requests to access your personal devices. In subsequent years, various heads of three-letter agencies, for example, CIA Director John Brennan during the Obama years, actively spoke to the press about the dangers of end-to-end encryption and how that was damaging U.S. intelligence gathering. So he and other three-letter agency leaders started pushing the concept of scanning content pre-encryption, meaning scanning your device directly instead of doing transport on the internet. I will refer to this technology as client-side scanning. Then some years after this, Apple introduced the first technology for client-side scanning. This was when they boasted that they had technology to examine the photo content of your phone. If your phone had illegal photos falling in the category of CSAM, the phone would have then identified you and report you to Apple HQ. Apple then could refer you to law enforcement. Now, this little project got a lot of pushback from organizations like the Electronic Frontier Foundation, EFF, and many people about such an invasion of privacy. Surprisingly, or not surprisingly, Apple fanboys just accepted this as a reasonable feature since, of course, the average person is a good person and would not be keeping CSAM material on their phones. But what the people pushing back have stated, including me, is that you have to understand the technology itself. Nothing in this technology limits this client-side scanning to just CSAM. There is no technological limit that would prevent scanning of any kind of content, including scanning for references to Tiananmen Square or whatever constitutes subversiveness in a particular country. Now, Apple put the CSAM project on hold, but interestingly, the media scanning API, like Media Analysis D, can still be found on Apple devices today, so it was never turned off. The interesting little feature, though, of client-side scanning is that it beats end-to-end encryption. How can Signal protect your communications if the AI can just read your screens? In the last 2 years, government officials in the Five Eyes countries and the EU simultaneously pushed laws that required client-side scanning, meaning direct device surveillance to protect our children. This was debated hotly in the US and the EU. And so far, the only laws that have actually passed are in the UK and some older laws in Australia. To my knowledge, at least. You can correct me if there are any new laws that passed recently. But why the simultaneous push for client-side scanning just in concert with Apple AI scanning and then followed now by Google and Microsoft scanning? You think these are all happening independently with no timing coincidences? The biggest point here is that everyone can be happy, including Apple, with client-side scanning. Not Apple or even Google or Microsoft needs to physically access your device. If anyone wants to examine the content of every single iPhone in the world, just ask the AI. The AI will examine it for you and then will report it. All without human eyes involved.
Of course it might. Yeah.
Of course, Apple does not state it will report it to anyone. But they admitted that they could in the past with CSAM. So they know it was possible to report. Governments also realized it was possible for big tech to report. So Apple can rightly say they cannot see your data. Yep, only the AI can see your data. The AI can report you. The AI can do the scanning. The new iPhone AI is extremely powerful because of the new added sensors to the new phone. It can actually use its sensors to detect what you're doing when you are near the phone and you don't even have to touch it. It can listen to what you're saying and not give any electronic reaction. It can quietly have the AI observe. You cannot turn this off since if you do turn it off, the phone just turns into an AirTag and forwards the data to other iPhones nearby until it finds one with an internet connection to send the information to Apple. How can you possibly escape the surveillance if you have an iPhone? This is a little different than Google spyware, which is intended to make money off your data. But this capability allows Apple to be promoted in suppressive countries like China and now followed by many countries previously perceived to have open democracies like the UK or Brazil. This is valuable, folks. It is a feature that enables Apple to survive without anyone complaining about end-to-end encryption or the need to break into iPhones. It allows Apple to continue to state that it doesn't see your data. It allows the most astounding gaslighting trick in this world, one that promotes the purposes of a 3.37 trillion mega corporation, the largest one in the world. There is no doubt that this is a very profitable move, even when you do not sell your data. They've already broken end-to-end encryption. They've already made instant surveillance available. If you disagree with me, tell me why the iPhone is approved for use by the CCP. So, you want to be part of this? I don't. Get a safe, open source privacy phone. Folks, privacy is difficult to protect. Huge companies with more power than any country prioritizes their profits over protecting you. I started a company to create products that...
He's good, but someone should edit his conversation into shorter fact paragraphs, not 5 paragraphs. He kind of... He knows what he's talking about, and he assumes that when you're listening, there's some things you have to kind of go, he explains it really well over a long period of time instead of short. I don't know. No mind, because I'm learning.
Spoil these big tech companies. These products are all on my store, on my platform, BraxMe. We have various Google phones that are invisible to big tech because they use open source OSs. Being introduced soon is the Brax 3 phone, which is a powerful iteration of our prior sold out Brax 2 phone. We have the Brax Virtual Phone, which is a service that gives you phone numbers without an identity. We have the Bytes VPN service, which protects your IP address and absolutely has no logs. We have the popular BraxMail service, which allows you a practically unlimited number of aliases, multiple domains, and a metadata-free email. Join us on the platform BraxMe, and you can access the store when you sign up. There are over 100,000 people there talking about privacy issues daily. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.
I'll have a look at it.
BraxMe.
Yeah.
I was going to include this. See, even that, not .com. Store.
Brax. So how much it costs.
$50 a year for the email.
I pay $14.90 for my space. I pay so much money for my phone. Shocking.
I thought it was US, isn't it?
Huawei phones US.
$120 a year for the limited phone plan.
Wow. They have to have data though. I don't know. It's worth looking into alternates. It is.
Yeah.
I swear he's a female dog, just because he's love of flowers and gardens.
It's about 600 Australian dollars for a Brax 3 phone.
That's not bad. But it depends what you can do with it. I was going to ask if it's possible if you could go to Macca's here, to the tobacco shop, and buy that, and I'll cook the pancakes while I'll start cooking the pancakes. And buy tobacco papers and filters. And I can get the money back on. And with him, if he's going to get any, he's going to have to pay for it.
That's respect.
Bye-bye home. Because this is the end of the bus. Even though I so want to give up before the 10th when I've got my specialist appointment, I can't do it today.
So this one is up to 4G. Yeah, he talks about 5G on these videos. Yeah. So it's an Android operating system, which is good. Yeah.
How many gigs has it got?
Memory 6 gigs plus 256 gigs.
That's good because I've got 228. That's actually good
So I
size.
think it's a good phone, probably.
Mm.
And it's like a third of the price of a new iPhone.
Yes.
Okay,
Or half or third of the price. Shit.
Tesla phone release date.
Oh yeah, maybe.
It's not released yet. He
Rough
was talking,
idea.
he was talking about. No, it says $250 Tesla phone, which is kind of the same as the Tesla Pi phone instead of iPhone.
That's funny.
128 gigs. What is the difference? Okay.
Got a dye in my hair though. I might dye my hair, but I'm not allowed to cut it. I want to cut it. But I've got to be a woman. As I said to Doug, I said, you never know. But there might be a man like in the future, and he's told God that part of his requirement is that she has long hair. You never know what to do. I don't have to cut it. So it's not a sin to me. Just so I have this little green thing.
So it's a little bit uncertain exactly how it's going to work.
Stay home. Stay home, Bubba. Yeah. How it's gonna work.
You like exactly what they have in it, but it hasn't come out yet.
It's gonna be
512 gig to 1.1 to 2 terabytes of storage.
say that again.
512 gigabytes to 1 or 2 terabytes of storage. 8 to 16 gig of RAM.
Wow. Hello. Who are you?
Oh no, you scared me.
Oh, I don't do that.
I pooped.
Hello.
I pooped. No, I didn't. Oops. I'm mean, if it wasn't 5G,
making 4G.
I don't know enough about it. Number of paperclips?
You can't borrow one, no. How can you borrow one when you burn it? How can you return it?
That's pretty
Can
simple.
you explain borrow? You're saying you can't borrow it. I just...
Have you been bought? No, have one. Home.
What's a possibility? Can you pass one over, please?
Thank you. Thank you, Ella. Thank you, I can't pronounce your name properly.
Ed.
Ed.
Easy to pronounce. Ed. I was going to give those phones back, and then because when I speak it out, then the answer kind of comes, and it's like, no, keep them, put them to work.
You saw that at my front door.
Hey,
Shell.
yeah,
License for smokes. I don't know.
yeah.
You see in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Was she at your door?
No.
No.
She would have to come around the back.
So which Macca's?
This one here. So when you go past the shopping centre, on the left hand side, there's that. It's only been there for like 4 months, I don't know. It's a little yellow. No. There's a bottle shop and there's little shops, and then it juts out. The tobacco shop juts out on the corner of the side of the road. It's yellow.
Just near here.
Yeah, just near Macca's. So on the left-hand side when you're driving out,
So what do you want from there?
the 100-gram tobacco pouch.
Tobacco.
Yeah, the tobacco one, please. That's other one. And then longest, skinniest filters. I don't mind these ones,
Yeah.
because I can pop them if I want to, I don't mind.
And they're not a bad taste to a pop.
Yeah. I feel sick. Nauseous if I smoke on one. I feel nauseous if I smoke on one.
I just woke up.
Far out.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, pardon me.
I sort of woke up.
Yes. Yeah, so, about 4 papers and 2 filters. You'll need them to take home. It's nice tobacco, though, that gold-coloured stuff, and it's soft. And it doesn't go crunchy, and it hasn't got chunky bits in it, it hasn't got sticks in it. No. Lovely. That would be all. That would be one. Oh, Baba.
There it goes.
Yeah, they sell cheap smoke. Every single pack everyone's bought. They burn so quick. It's like far out, they just go kapoof.
There's something different about them. They don't feel like you smoke it, but it doesn't feel like you've had a smoke.
Yeah.
It's like whatever. There's something that isn't in it that much that it would like satisfy your smoking desire.
Yes. It's weird.
Probably that's the idea of them, you know. It's like the Winfield menthol pop filters.
Yep.
You just smoke the whole packet pretty much.
Yeah, so, but they, I think they charge 15 for cheap smokes, or then $10 if you buy the carton. But they just disappear.
So you think people are buying cartons of normal
I know, $300. Or more.
Used to be like $30 for a carton.
$360 for a carton of 20. Fuck what?
Yeah, my boss buys cartons. I mean, his old boss, John.
I remember when they were $80 for a carton. Actually, less than that, most probably.
I remember when like 10 packs would have been $20.
I told Dad that I used to go shopping on the bottom of the shopping list. Like I'd make a shopping list and do away milk, bread, and Marlboro smokes. That's when Mum found the smokes in the speaker in the room. Back in the speaker. Yes.
I think you would have put them there.
I did. I did.
And it would have been blaming me though.
No, I lost my pocket money. You didn't. He's got chocolate at Christmas and a watch, and because we shook out presents as well that year. And so I didn't get a box of chocolates. I got a little block, and I missed out on a few presents. And because Aya cried when she said sorry. Apparently I didn't say a genuine sorry.
Yeah, you had to cry, like I learned with your pop.
Yeah.
We used to get belted. Oh, and he came one day and he said, what you do is, because we had to go and get the stick from the bush ourselves. And so he said, what you do is, even before you get belted, you start crying, you say sorry. Yep. And